Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5:30.
The Cassidy brothers were back in court for a child pornography case, including 17 new charges between the two of them.
If you live in Clay County and need to be airlifted, it's the county who will now be footing that bill.
Authorities say this man ran a Ponzi scheme that stole from his best friends. How to protect yourself from being a victim of financial fraud coming up.
WKYT News at 5:30 starts now. Good evening. Twin brothers at the center of a child pornography and sex abuse case in Lexington were back in court today.
And this time around, Jack and Jerry Cassidy were arraigned in Fayette County Circuit Court on 17 new charges between the two of them. The two are accused of sexual abuse dating back to the 1970s. WKYT's Jarek Yensko has the latest on the brothers' newest charges. It's our top story at 5:30.
We've been telling you about the Cassidy twins since August, when Lexington police arrested the both of them for having a significant amount of child pornography. Today, they were both arraigned again for 17 new charges between the both of them. Lexington police say Jerry and Jack Cassidy sexually abused children for more than 20 years. They're now facing charges, but it all allegedly happened decades ago when the two were Boy Scout troop leaders. The case surfaced 2 months ago when police tell us they found child pornography in their home in Lexington. The twins were arrested then for having child porn and also charged with sexual abuse while in jail. They bonded out of jail and then were arrested again this month when multiple victims came forward. A grand jury recently indicted them on those new charges, 9 against Jerry Cassidy and 8 against Jack Cassidy, which include possession of a matter portraying a sex performance by a minor, second-degree sodomy, indecent and immoral practices with a child younger than 15 years old, third-degree sodomy, and first-degree sexual abuse. The Cassidy twins were arraigned for those new charges today, both pleading not guilty. Police believe the victims are between 8 and 15 years old and say the sex crimes date back to 1963. In Lexington, Jarek Yensko, WKYT.
Jerry and Jack Cassidy were set to appear in court for a pretrial conference on November 6th. A small southern Kentucky community is coming together again to remember a woman brutally killed last week. 34-year-old Monica Wells' body was found in a sinkhole in Pulaski County. Police say that her boyfriend, Johnny Hendricks, beat her to death and then dumped her body. After her death, volunteers with the Bethany House Abuse Shelter organized a vigil to help her friends, her family, and other domestic abuse victims cope with her death. And tonight at 6, they will release balloons to celebrate what would have been her 35th birthday.
For people living in southern Kentucky, an announcement today that could save some money in an emergency. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Clay County. That's where the fiscal court has signed an agreement with Air Evac Life Team to cover any additional costs associated with being airlifted. The agreement means if your insurance provider won't cover all your costs for the flight, the county will pay for the remaining balance. 1 year of coverage cost the fiscal court about $50,000.
It gives every resident that lives within Clay County, it gives them our ambulance coverage for our company or any of our sister companies.
Clay County Judge Executive Joe Asher tells us the fiscal court has been working on this project since early this year. In Bell County, a Pineville man is in jail facing rape charges tonight. Kentucky State Police arrested 69-year-old James Gambrell Thursday. He was charged with rape, sexual abuse, sodomy, and incest. Troopers haven't released the details of this crime. And in Greene County, 3 school buses have collided on Highway 61 in the Pittman Creek area. Kentucky State Police say the 3 buses were on the same route and trying to turn at the same intersection about 2 this afternoon. The second bus rear-ended the first bus, pushing it into a vehicle, and then a third bus rear-ended the second bus. 36 students were checked out at a hospital and then released.
This week is wrapping up on a warmer note. We're looking at some sunshine and mild temperatures for the weekend. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has details and a first look at your forecast. Chris?
Yeah, weekend in the Bluegrass State in the month of October. We've got a lot going on. Keeneland, we've got UK football, it's homecoming. We've got EKU, it is homecoming there. And not to mention all the pumpkin farms that are in high gear on this final weekend before Halloween. So we want the nice weather, and it looks like Mother Nature is delivering the goods. Look at this beautiful sky on top of Hamburg Pavilion as of right now. If you're out to a high school football game this evening, bless you by the way, we're going to see very nice conditions, temperatures into the upper 50s for kickoff. Second half of those games, we'll need the jackets, we will need the sweatshirts, with temperatures dropping into the low and mid 50s. Live First Alert Defender with a good looking view, although a little cloud cover beginning to stream into town as we go into later tonight. Those clouds will settle in, but the focus of the forecast when I come back in a little bit is not just going to be on the weekend. I'm always looking down the road for you, all right? Big changes beginning to show up for your Halloween week forecast, and that may take us all the way into Halloween weekend. I've got not one, but two cold fronts that I'm tracking into that extended forecast with a 7-day outlook coming your way in just about 10 minutes from now.
Thank you, Chris. One Floyd County roads condition is leading some people there to start a petition. We're told the petition has 86 signatures in hopes that Ward Branch Road in the Cow Creek area will be repaired. A part of the road has slipped, leaving more than 1 foot of mud. Jeff Crumb's son lives beyond all that mud and has a medical condition which has Crumb concerned.
There's no way that an ambulance can travel this road to get to him. That road is supposed to be over about 8 feet.
The petition was first brought to the county in mid-September, but the Crumbs say the county has not fixed the problem. The county road supervisor did tell the Floyd County Times earlier this week, quote, "It's impossible to work on that road in this weather."
Keeneland is sending the fall meet out with a bang this weekend. Racing comes to a close tomorrow, and the racetrack is going out in style by helping UK celebrate homecoming. Today, for Sea Blue Day, UK students, alumni, and faculty received free admission to the track. As for tomorrow, the last day of the fall meet, Keeneland is partnering here with WKYT to host a daily double tailgate watch party on the hill. Fans will be able to watch UK take on Mississippi State and watch the races as well. That game, by the way, is tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 right here on WKYT.
He preyed on his friends and those who trusted him the most. In the end, his victims lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. There are ways to protect yourself from being victimized in a classic Ponzi scheme. Jeffrey Shalhoub claimed he was a commodities trader. The truth, he was a con artist.
Jeffrey Shalhoub knew what he was doing from day one. He took investors' money and only traded a third of it.
He promised investors big weekly returns, 10% of their principal every week. But postal inspectors say he was running a Ponzi scheme.
As the investment goes on, they usually get paid back with not their earnings, but new investor money. And then eventually the bottom falls out and there's no money to gain.
In all, almost $300,000 in losses.
He was a fraud from the beginning. He knew exactly what he was going to do, and it was part of his master plan to use other people's money for his gain.
Instead, the money went to cars, travel, golf memberships, and expensive dinners. The worst part is who he was scamming.
Shalhoub preyed on his friends and family. He preyed on people that trusted him.
Postal inspectors say all potential investors should research businesses or people they trust with their money. In this case, Shalhoub never held the required license to operate a commodities trading pool. Other red flags?
It's imperative to watch out for guaranteed high earnings, because when you invest in something, nothing's guaranteed.
No, it is not. Shalhoub was convicted and sentenced to 3 years in prison. Bringing together Southern Kentucky mountains and off-road riders. That's the goal of the annual Jeep Jamboree event in Williamsburg this weekend.
Trail riders got to head out today for the first time during the 3-day event. The annual Jeep Jamboree event runs through Saturday, and more than 400 off-road enthusiasts are in the area for Jeep Jamboree. USA officials tell us that 28 states are represented in this year's ride.